Okay, I have an original effect to share with you today, and it tests to what degree you are in harmony with universal intelligence. Because if you are, we're able to achieve true magic together. Okay, so as you can see here, I have the 4 aces, 4 twos, 4 sixes, and 4 tens. Okay, so for these cards, we need you to come in here and mix them as much as you would like, okay? And so once you're satisfied with the mixing of the cards, we'll go ahead and gather those up, like so. And then I'll just deal out the cards into 2 piles of 8 cards each, of course. Okay, now what I need you to do is point to either pile. Let's say you point to this one here. So what I need you to do is take a look at the identity of this card. Oh, that's a nice one. Good choice. This is your special card to remember. Now, as the performer, I would not see this card. I would not know what card you chose. But it looks like it's a very nice one, the Ace of Spades. Okay, so remember that, and then just set it back on the pile from which you took it. Now we'll go ahead and bury that card. Now, since we know where the card is, we better randomize the packet. And a great way to do that for an even number of cards, because we have 16 here, is to deal them out into an odd number of piles, like 3. Okay, so now we can begin. So what I want you to do is I'm going to fan out the cards, and I want you to point to any one card. So maybe you point to this one right there, that's fine. Now it's okay if we both see this card, so I'll go ahead and flip that up. It looks like it's the 10 of diamonds. Now we're going to be using this randomly arrived at card to further mix the cards. So watch, so 10 of diamonds, I'll put it back where we got it from. So what we're going to do is we're going to spell out 10 of diamonds, but we will use the Klondike shuffle. So let me show you this. So 10, T-E-N, drop the rest on top, of, O-F, drop the rest on top, and I believe it was diamonds, D-I-A-M-O-N-D-S. 10 of diamonds. Okay, why don't we do that a second time? Let me just straighten up the cards here. Which of these would you like to work with? Maybe you want this one right here. Now, if you happen to choose your card, don't let out that you did, okay? Just pretend that it's one of the other cards. Don't communicate that to me. So let's say you choose this one here. So it's the 6 of clubs. So we'll put it back where we got it from, 6 of clubs. So we'll do the same thing. So 6 of clubs. S-I-X. Drop the rest on top. Every card has a middle name of O-F. And then I believe it's clubs. C-L-U-B-S. Okay. A note to you as the performer. You can do this as many times as the spectator prefers, desires, or has patience for. So why don't we do it a third time, though you could do it 50 times if you like. So maybe this time they'll choose this one right here, okay? 10 of clubs. I don't think we've done that one, okay? So let's put it back where we got it from. 10 of clubs. T-E-N, drop the rest on top. Now of, O-F, drop the rest on top. And then clubs again. C-L-U-B-S. Okay, very, very good. Okay, now to finish, we need a helper card for this. And a nice way to get a helper card is to just randomly mix the cards, and whatever card comes to the top will be designated as our, quote, helper card. So since we've been using the Klondike Shuffle, why don't we go ahead and just Klondike Shuffle the cards until we, bring a single card to the top. Okay, Those are the final two cards. So what card have we brought to the top? Let's take a look. Oh, okay, Ace of Clubs, which is fine. And now at this point, what I'm going to do is I'm going to Charlie shuffle the packet, or more importantly, I could have you randomly cut it at any location. That would be just fine. And then to finish, we're going to perform a shuffle that gives you tremendous freedom throughout the entire process. I call it the first shall be last and the last shall be first. So let me show you how this works. So all I do is I just begin dealing the cards into piles until you say stop. And then I'll go on to the next pile. Stop there. Okay. Stop there. That's fine. Okay, perfect. So the first shall be last and the last shall be first is called that because once you've put it out into the number of piles completely decided by the spectator, you pick up the last pile first and stack in opposite order, which just helps to mix the cards further. Okay, so why don't we go ahead and just take a look at where that has brought us. Okay, now a note to you as the performer. In this particular case, because of how we dealt out those piles, we have the ace second from the top, which is just fine. Normally, the ace would be, somewhere throughout here, which in some sense might be better, I guess. So if this were to happen, you could have the spectator cut the cards at any location and then fan it out, because it's kind of nice to have the ace, this helper card, somewhere in the middle, roughly. But where it is now is perfectly fine, because all we're going to do to finish is we're going to take a look at the card that is face to face with the helper card. And that card is this one right here. It just happens to be the top card. But whether the ace of clubs is in here, then you take the one that's just above the ace of clubs. And that would be the pair to remove, okay? Let's go ahead and discard these here. So what card has our helper card found after all of that amazingly convoluted mixing of this packet of 16 cards in which you sounded in and decided a vast majority of how these cards were eventually ordered for this final step? Let's see what our helper card found. It found the other ace. It found the ace of spades. Now, you as a performer would not know. You haven't seen this card. But because this procedure always works, you'll know that this is their card. And more importantly, the spectator will know that this is their card. Okay. Whoa, how does this work? Well, you do exactly what I showed you, and it will work every time. So we can maybe hit some highlights. I do want to point out it's serendipity here that the helper card just happened to be the companion card to the spectator's freely arrived at card. Okay, that was just chance. But those kinds of things happen, as you've seen in my videos before. Coincidences are actually fairly common. Okay, so let's go ahead and quickly explain this. If you do everything that I showed you, this will work perfectly. So let's just step through and I'll kind of talk through things. I'm not going to do all of the steps here. Okay, so you have these cards, ace, 2, 6, and 10 of all four suits. You deal them out into two piles like this. Have the spectator randomly choose the top card of either. This is their special card. Oh, another ace. So maybe we'll leave it face up for this explanation. We buried it. Okay, so if you remember, what I did was I did something called a triangle deal. So I just dealt out in a triangle. I started up here. And I just went like this, clockwise. Okay, now if you pick up this first pile again, but stack in opposite order, the ninth card, which is where the spectator's card is a fixed point. It hasn't gone anywhere. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Spectator's card is still in the ninth position, even though it's going to look like it's mixed things quite a bit. Okay, so we haven't heard anything. Now, the great secret for spelling out any card that has 3 letters in its card value name, like Ace 2, 6, 10, of any of the 4 suits, doing it in the way that I showed you with the Klondike Shuffle will leave the ninth card where it is. Okay, so try that out for yourself. Just rewatch the video, perform what I did. And so, quote, spelling out using the Klondike Shuffle any of the cards that happen to be in here. They can freely choose any of these as a name, right? Go like this, 10 of diamonds, and then go ahead and Klondike, T-E-N, drop the rest on top, O-F, drop the rest on top, and then diamonds. Okay, it will leave their card, which is in the ninth position, in the ninth position. So it hasn't gone anywhere. So you can do that as many times as you like. And then from there, I said, we need a helper card. So all we did there was I Klondike shuffled the cards, supposedly to get like a random helper card. Well, it's not so random, because what's going to happen here is it's going to bring the spectator's card second from the top. That's what it's going to do. And that's in a very important position for something called the face-to-face principle. Okay, and I'll add a link in the description below to the face-to-face principle that I explain, and I give you several really surprising applications of this very, very simple principle, as you'll see. So take a look at that video. But all it does is, so this is our helper card officially, right? You remember how I turned that? It's a little confusing because we've turned the spectator's card face up, but the helper card is actually one that will be face up, right? And then, in fact, let's go ahead and just do that. We'll just leave that one face up, just like we did, but just remember what's behind it, the spectator's card, okay? So what I did was I did a Charlier shuffle, which is just equivalent to cutting the cards at any location. Okay, I'll add a link in the description below to the Charlier shuffle. You can have the spectator randomly cut the cards. Okay, and then you can do something called the first shall be last and the last shall be first. And this is just a way to hide a simple packet reversal. So what that will do is the card that was below the helper card will now be above, because you're just reversing the order of the cards. So this is where I said, you tell me when to stop. Stop there. Okay, that's fine. Stop there. That's great. Stop there. Okay. Stop there. Very good. And then you pick up the last one first. You go in opposite order. Okay. And then you're done. You just spread these out. And you're guaranteed that now the helper card it used to be down here, but since we reversed the order of all of the cards with this first shall be last, last shall be first, their card is now above the helper card. So our helper card has truly helped because it's actually found the spectator's card. Okay, so those are the main secrets behind it. I haven't shown you how I came up with the ninth position being a fixed point relative to this card spelling system using the Klondike Shuffle, but that's just too complicated to explain in a YouTube video here. So thank you for watching, and take a look at other videos on the Absolute Math Magic channel.